Words have meaning, and how we use them matters. Claiming that Israel's committing genocide, apartheid, or even a Holocaust is a dramatized, bad faith attempt to smear Israel's just war against Hamas, not to protect Palestinians. You can't be silent on the slaughter of Palestinians by Hamas or Assad in Syria, who killed over 4,000 Palestinians, but then be outraged when Israel exercises self-defense to eliminate terror threats and civilians die as a result of war. The truth is, atrocities occur in war all over the world. Yes, civilians too. But we don't see social media erupting with exaggerated and oftentimes flat-out false claims about what's happening in other conflicts because the Watermelon Brigade only cares when Jews are involved. The manufactured outrage isn't because what's happening in Gaza is so much worse than in any other war. In fact, significantly less civilians are dying than in most urban wars, where the civilian to combatant ratio average is 9 civilians for every 1 combatant killed. In Gaza, it's currently 2 to 1. The outrage over Gaza isn't because it's so much worse than any war. It's because we're in a disinformation war where our enemies are trying to redefine words to demonize Israel and remove agency from Palestinians, which is a form of anti-Palestinian racism in and of itself. There is a moral and legal difference between civilian casualties and victims of genocide or the Holocaust. There is no attempt to eradicate Palestinians. Never has been. In fact, there are efforts to warn them and move them out of harm's way. What is happening in Gaza is not a genocide, and it is certainly not a Holocaust. This is a war that didn't have to happen, and it's one that could end in the next hour if Hamas surrendered and returned the hostages. Instead, they embed themselves and their weapons in civilian areas and infrastructure to make the Palestinian people suffer, and then pursue their delusional agenda of genocide against the Jewish state, projecting Hamas's stated goal of genocide onto Israel and claiming that the Jewish state is committing a genocide because of tragic civilian casualties that occur as a result of war is dishonest, it's unhelpful, and it's immoral. Discrimination can exist without it being apartheid. Displacement can take place without it being ethnic cleansing. War can take place without it being genocide. And even war crimes can take place without it being the Holocaust. Stop doing this. Stop listening to people who do. Be responsible for the language that you use.